Goal Getting Podcast, Episode 16.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook and 30-day free trial at www.goalgettingbook.com. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hello, goal getters. Do you have these negative, limiting beliefs that keep you from getting the goals you set? Well, let's listen to the Goal Getting Podcast and turn them into positive, success-seeking beliefs and thoughts. Change your subconscious mind and get the goals you're set. This is Tony Woodall with the Goal Getting Podcast, and we're going to show you how. You can succeed. Hello, goal getters. This is Tony Woodall, your host with Goal Getting Podcast. I'd like to welcome you and thank you for listening again today. Today's episode is called You've Achieved Your Goal. What now? That's right. Well, it's time to celebrate. I'd sing to you. Celebrate, come on, let's go. That's probably not the best singing in the world. And, singing's not one of my goals, to be a professional singer. I won't ever appear on America's Got Talent or on any of those shows because I can't sing. And you should be thankful for that. Unlike other people who do show up on those shows. But anyway, I digress. I want to talk about celebration today. Celebration and rewards. They're both very important. Celebrations are very important. People celebrate, when their favorite sports teams win a championship, things like that. And since I've moved to San Francisco, the San Francisco Giants have won 3 World Series. In 3 World Series in 5 years. How fantastic is that for a sports team? I mean, that is just totally, totally amazing. I come from Atlanta and we went to the playoffs and the World Series several times, but we only won one time in 10 years or more back in the 90s. And, Atlanta's a great town, but they're just not into the sports unless you're an SEC football team. They are into the SEC and they hold that near and dear to their heart, but they celebrate it quite well, but they don't the professional teams that much. But here in San Francisco, the San Francisco Giants and the 49ers have some rabid fans and they celebrate their wins. They celebrate their championships, and soon they're probably going to have a new basketball championship because the Warriors are in the playoffs and are playing quite well. So, the Warriors could be the next basketball champs. So we'll see in a couple days. San Francisco knows how to celebrate their victories. I had the pleasure of attending the second World Series parade here in San Francisco. They come right down Market Street and right next to where my office is where I work. And we're so close, we can look out most of our office windows and watch. And this is my first World Series parade that I've been able to attend. I missed the first one back in 2010 by just a couple weeks. I had moved to San Francisco the end of October, first week of November, and just missed the first World Series parade there in that 5-year period. And it was such a cool thing to be able to watch the World Series parade and to be in that. I could have looked out the window, but I wanted to be in that excitement, in that feeling. So I actually went down to the street and watched it from street level with the thousands of people that were lining Market Street and Front Street and that area there. It was just amazing to see that. Now, the next year, last year when they won, I didn't get to see that one because I was homesick that day and had to watch it on TV. But the Giants and Giant fans can celebrate their success and the success of their favorite teams, like crazy. If they can celebrate their teams for their successes, why can't you celebrate yours? And that's one of the things that the Goal Getting Nation here, we talk about goals and the different steps to achieve those goals. In 9 Steps to Successful Goal Achievement is my ebook, and we're going over that. And the one step that I want to talk about today is rewarding yourself. To set your goals, and when you achieve those goals, you need to reward yourself and celebrate your successes, because you can and you should. And you probably won't go out and throw yourself a giant parade or anything, but you should celebrate your successes, celebrate your achievements. And I'd like to celebrate an achievement today. I really want to thank some folks. We've gotten some great 5-star reviews on iTunes. And if you listen to us on iTunes and you haven't already submitted a review and a rating, I would greatly appreciate it. But we got one out there from R. Paxman, and it says, it's obvious that Tony has spent a lot of time thinking about goal setting. He has a lot of experiences working with large corporations and executives in this area. If you're having trouble coming up with your goals, setting them and making them happen, Tony can help you. The sound quality of this podcast is great, which is a plus, and I look forward to seeing what he does in the future. That was absolutely a wonderful 5-star review, and I do appreciate that, R. Paxman. If you would do me a favor and, go to our show notes page and leave a comment. Let me know if you're still enjoying it, if you've got comments on anything else that we're doing. Since we've added the interview sections and the interview episodes that we're doing, I've got more coming up. So I'd really like to find out how you like those. And I'm very happy. Thank you for that 5-star review, R. Paxman. And that rating is just phenomenal, and the review is fabulous, and I just really appreciate it. I also want to thank Mike from Walnut Creek, California. He sent a comment to me that said that he had just listened to episode 12 and that he liked that format. That's our Jared Lichten interview for Flip with Jared Lichten. And Jared was a great interview. It was our first that we did on Goal Getting Podcast. Mike likes it, so we did another one, and we're going to have 3 more after this week. We'll have 3 more interviews coming up. We'll have my good friend Weta Brown from WetaBrown.com coming up on the 24th, and then the great Aaron Walker. Aaron Walker is a phenomenal serial entrepreneur who has done some great work, and he's going to be talking about, living on purpose and growing from success to significance on July the 1st. So I know you're going to be wanting to go out and see the Terminator movie on July the 1st. So, in the morning, listen to the podcast at Goal Getting Podcast, and then you can go see the movie later that evening. But we'll have Aaron Walker on the 1st of July. So look forward to listening to that. The 9 Steps to Successful Goal Achievement, my ebook, I've noted that one of the steps that you must have is to reward yourself. Now, you might say, why is that even a step in goal achievement and goal setting? It's because we need that. We need the rewards. Humans learn by doing, hearing, and thinking. We want to continue learning when we're rewarded for a job that we do well. So you want to have positive reinforcement, and positive reinforcement is used every day with children and pets. We strongly recommend positive reinforcement for training dogs, and not like we're dogs or anything, but we want to, train our children with positive reinforcement. That's the best way to bring up a child in a loving home. And, if you have children, you've probably used positive reinforcement or rewards on your children. Now, when we want our kids to walk, we kind of show them how to do it by holding their hands and walking behind them. And I did this with my girls. Actually, I did them with my youngest daughter. My oldest was already walking by the time I got her, but my youngest, I got to hold her hands and help her walk. And, and what we do, when we do this, when this is over, we do this over and over again. And then on the one day when they get up the courage and the nerve to walk away from the sofa or the table that they're holding onto after they pulled themselves up, then what happens? Well, we cheer, we jump up and down, and, we clap, and we make a big deal about it. Why? We need to give them that positive reinforcement. So we probably even pick them up and give them a big hug. I know I did with my daughter. She, the first time she walked, it just amazed me. And I was so excited, my wife and we gave her a big hug and just made a big deal out of it. And we continue to do that, when our kids are growing. So, we've just used rewards to celebrate their successes, and we just used rewards, and we rewarded them and yourself for a goal that was achieved. So they succeed in their goal to learn to walk, and you achieved your goal of teaching them to walk. So you actually achieved a goal when you did that. So both of us achieved our goals, us teaching our children how to walk, and them actually taking up the nerve and actually learning it and doing it. So we use that all the time when we're raising our kids. So, and then as they get older, we continue throughout their kids' lives as they enter school and work towards achieving good grades and eventually graduating from high school and eventually college, perhaps. We continue that positive motivation, that rewarding them for everything. When our kids are doing potty training and they're 1 to 3 years old, hopefully. But when we're training our kids, a lot of people use sweets or candy or something to reward them. I don't recommend that myself, because, then it begins to build into the subconscious mind at that time, that if I do well and get a reward, I should get something sweet to eat. And that's not necessarily healthy for us, so let's come up with something better than candy. But just, good positive reinforcement and rewards is very good. A new toy is something that they would enjoy playing with, but not candy, or something along that line. We've got a terrible problem with obesity in this country, in the United States, and a lot of it, is children, and we need to not, enforce, or reinforce that kind of behavior by rewarding them with candy for success. Give them something that they can have fun with, that's healthy and things like that. So they're not going to do a good job, by the way, if you give them broccoli or celery or something like that. So, I learned that from my kids. I don't do that, but, give them something that's healthy, a toy, something fun. An activity, when they achieve their goal, something along that line. Now, when I started in martial arts training, I studied Bujinkan Ninpo Taijutsu, more commonly referred to as ninjutsu. And when I started training, it was new to the United States, it was many, many years ago. And my teacher, my sensei, explained that there were 3 levels of belts at that time. Martial arts styles and systems use belt levels to rank their students until they become a teacher or become a high-level student. Basically everyone in martial arts that studies it, has for their goal to earn their black belt, at least the first degree black belt. And as I started my training in the Bujinkan system, there were only 3 belts at that time. There was a white belt, a green belt, and a black belt. And, it typically takes people about 3 years to earn a black belt in that system, and probably most systems these days. And that's a long time when you think about it. 3 years seems like an eternity at times. It really goes by pretty fast if you don't think about it, but it is a long time. And it took me 11 months just to go from my white belt, which, by the way, the white belt is the belt that comes with your gi, which is your uniform, to hold the top up. It isn't something you earn. So the first level is being a white belt is what everybody wears when they get started, just so you can hold your clothes up. And, so it took me 11 months of training to get to my green belt, the first green belt that I got. And I thought, I just really almost gave up, to be honest with you, because it just seemed like I was never, ever going to get there. At the time, there weren't tests that we took. There weren't, defined skills and things that we knew we had to achieve or to accomplish, and I didn't really know what I was going to be doing in there. So it just took a long time, and it was kind of depressing for a lot of people. And after earning your green belt, it would take you another 2 to 4 years to earn your black belt. And the training was hard. And a lot of the students honestly didn't stick around. I remember people would come and go, and they just didn't have enough. We had a core class of, 5 or 10 people, at the most, but just didn't have a lot of students that stuck around because they never got promoted. And I think they never felt like they were achieving a goal. They never felt like they were doing what they needed to do to progress. And they often didn't feel like they would ever achieve their black belt. And I kind of wondered about it myself. And after a while, however, the instructors in the system, our grandmaster in Japan and the people in the United States that were teaching, kind of opened it up and opened up the green belt rank to 9 levels. And 9, just for your information, is the number of completeness in ninjutsu. But they opened up this new level of rewards for people to strive for. And when you achieve a green belt, which is a Q ranking, you were called up in front of your class usually and awarded your next level by your sensei. And this helps to motivate you and the students to work harder to achieve the next level and to start working toward it. But you have something to go for. You have a reward that you're going to get, at some point in time. Every 3-4 months that you'll go through there, you'll achieve a goal of some sort. And that is exciting when you get rewarded by your class, clapping for you, cheering for you, and your instructor inviting you up to the front of the class to present a new belt or a new certificate for you. We always got new certificates for each of the Q rankings that we got from that point. So it is something that is very important to people, and especially children. Most martial arts programs use belt rankings to help motivate their students. And most schools or dojos have kids classes. We started kids classes when I was, an active instructor or a senior instructor, I became an active instructor when I was a senior student and helped teach the kids class. And later, when I achieved my first degree black belt, and beyond, I went on to earn my 5th degree black belt, the Godan rank. And after that time, I actually worked with the kids classes and taught several of the kids classes. But after I retrieved that rank of Godan, the 5th degree black belt, I actually went out with friends of mine. We had a big party afterwards. I actually earned it at one of our taikais that we were holding in Atlanta, which is, I think, Japanese means big party in itself, but it's a convention of a bunch of martial artists that come together and do the ninjutsu and do training with the Grandmaster when he came to the United States. And, we went out afterwards, and all of us that had been promoted and passed the Godan test and our instructors and fellow instructors went out and had a great time that night to celebrate. Now, you have to reward yourself for achieving also your action steps. And when we talk in goal getting, we talk about setting up an action plan, steps that you're going to take to achieve a goal. And that may be something that you do when you set up specific steps or tasks that you need to do to reach your goals. These tasks are often goals in themselves. And then when you set a long-term goal, there will often be several short-term goals that when completed, you'll get your goal achieved that you're trying to. And, so each of those action steps are mini goals or things that you need to accomplish that you set up. So in the 9 steps to successful goal achievement, I talk about one of the goals I had years ago. I had a goal to own a red Z4. That was the car of my dreams at that time. Not really of the dreams, but that was just a car that I wanted to have. And that was a big goal for me. I could have gone out and got a loan for the Z4, but that really was not the intent. I wanted the car, but one of my bigger goals at the time was to be debt-free. And that may be one of your goals that you're working towards, is to be debt-free, to pay off all your credit cards, things like that. And that's probably one of my main financial goals at that time was to pay off all of my credit card debt and any installment loan debts that I had. I had started following the Dave Ramsey program to get out of debt, and I really wanted to get where I was debt-free, where I didn't have to worry about those monthly payments so I could do the things that I wanted to do, one being hopefully pay cash for the Z4, but at least pay down a majority of it, 50% or better, so I had a lower payment, and I didn't want to be burdened with a lot of debt in my life. So I made my goal to own a red Z4 based on me paying off all of my debt. And I set my action plan so that each credit card or installment loan was a separate task as I followed, Dave Ramsey's snowball plan. I needed a way to keep myself motivated, and I recommend that you do this sort of thing if you have a similar type of goal, or, when you have a type of goal, do some sort of reward for those achievements. And as a short-term reward for achieving my short-term action goals of paying off a credit card, I agreed with myself to go to a BMW dealership and do a test drive of a Z4. I did. And actually, I have a friend of mine who owned a Z4, and he's really the one who got me interested in the car. And he actually was able to, on one occasion, set up a trip from the BMW dealership to go to the BMW Performance Center in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And man, that was so much fun. We met at the BMW dealership. We got in a beautiful big, bus, air conditioned, drove all the way from the Atlanta area all the way up to Spartanburg, South Carolina, a little over an hour, had refreshments along the way, and got to the BMW Performance Center, and they had it set up where we could drive several BMW vehicles around the racetrack. And man, I tell you what, that was a fun experience. We had, the 740iL, which was really fun, to do that. But, my goal and the thing I wanted was to be able to drive the Z4, and they have a special racetrack for the Z4s. And we got to drive a Z4, and you can go out and see me in a red Z4 on a racetrack that I was driving around that day. And my neighbor that went with me, I was trying to get him interested in buying a Z4 as well, which he eventually did. I convinced him and sold him on it. He took the picture of me because I kind of made him sick in the car driving the way I was driving pretty fast around those curves. So it was fun, and I had a great time there, but the key is, you want to give yourself a reward for achieving those goals, even the short-term goals or the small action steps that you put out there. Come up with some sort of goal. Now, obviously, you're not going to go out after each one and throw a parade or spend more money than you're trying to save or anything like that. You're going to go out there and, give yourself some sort of reward, either maybe a dinner or something like that with your significant other, something that you enjoy to do. So, it's very important that you do that. And one of my goals this year, and I'm getting ready to start getting heavily involved in a fitness goal and a wellness, I really need to lose some weight. I got to get down to my goal weight, which my goal weight is 185 pounds. And I've talked before in the podcast about setting an accountability partner and setting up accountability with the mentors or whatever. And so I'm going to tell you, I'm got a goal by the end of the year to get down to my goal weight of 185 pounds. And I've got to do that healthily, not starving myself to death, but between a good nutrition plan, eating healthy foods, and also exercising, I need to be able to lose that weight by the end of the year. So the one thing I've always told myself, that if I get down to my goal weight, my reward for that is to go out and buy a custom-made Hickey Freeman suit. I don't know why I want a Hickey Freeman. I just remember as a kid hearing about executives and successful people wearing a nice suit like a Hickey Freeman. And there's actually a Hickey Freeman dealer in downtown San Francisco. So between now and the time I achieve my goal, I'm going to go start visiting the Hickey Freeman store and look at the suits and start looking at the styles and the colors and talking to the salespeople there about that, because that is one of my goals, is to be able to wear a nice suit and look really good in it. So, I wear suits a lot, but I just don't look the way I want to in a good suit. So that's one of my goals, and that's my reward for that, is to buy a Hickey Freeman, custom-made Hickey Freeman suit, and by the end of the year. So hopefully my goal will be to have a Christmas present for myself next year and have me a new suit. So you keep me honest and you keep me accountable. I want you to follow along, and I'm going to start putting out on the podcast, a Follow Me Fit section, I think, so that you can hear me talking about my exploits and my journey to fitness and to my goal weight that I'm looking for. Now, I want to help you celebrate your success. And when you do that, celebrate your success. And when a goal is achieved, celebrate. You would really make me feel very good if you achieve a goal. You let me know on the podcast show notes at goalgettingpodcast.com. You can go to the episodes there, or you can email us at goalgetter@goalgettingpodcast.com and let us know what you're doing and what you achieved. I would love to hear what you're, how you're doing and how we're helping you if we are on that. But we want to hear about your achievements. We want to hold you guys, up and help keep you going on your journey. So what I'm doing today is I want to offer you a free poster. I put together a poster with the 9 steps to successful goal achievement that you can print out, take it to Kinko's or somewhere else, print it out on a, poster board or an 11.5 or 11 by 17, and, put it up on your wall. I've got mine up on my vision board, my goal board that I have up here, and I look at it every day to make sure I set up the different steps whenever I create a new goal that I want to do. I follow the steps in the 9 steps to successful goal achievement, and I want you to know what those are and what those steps are and have those readily available. So I put together a free poster for you. So as a reward for listening to our podcast, I'm going to offer you a copy of our 9 steps to successful goal achievement poster. And you can go to goalgettingpodcast.com/poster, all in lowercase, and give us your email and we'll send it to you. And again, I want to thank you for listening to the Goal Getting Podcast. Let us know what you think about our show in the comment section below our show notes. Anyway, go to goalgettingpodcast.com. We are on episode 16, and you can go to goalgettingpodcast.com/episode 16, and you will be able to see the comment section there and fill in a comment. Let us know what you think. We'd love to know your goals, as I said, and what you're working on and how we can help you. Now, I also mentioned my ebook, 9 Steps to Successful Goal Achievement, and it's available on Amazon.com right now for 99 cents. The price will be going up after the end of this month. We're going to raise the price a little bit, but you can also get a free copy right now of the ebook by going to goalgettingpodcast.com/9 steps ebook, all one word in lowercase. So if you go to goalgettingpodcast.com/9 steps ebook, again, all in lowercase and also one word, you will be able to get to that. Give us your email address and we'll send you a copy of our ebook on PDF, and you'll be able to follow that along with the free poster. Again, I really do appreciate you guys paying attention and listening to Goal Getting Podcast. We really have some great things coming up for you in the next few weeks. 3 great interviews coming up, and I would love for you to listen to these folks. Weta Brown is a nutritionist and a health and wellness consultant. She's getting ready to do some wellness retreats, so you want to find out more about her and how you can use her 5 secrets to wellness for women. Women, if you're listening, I appreciate your listening, and you will enjoy this episode. It's also got handy tips for men as well. They work for us as well. But also, episode 18 will be Aaron Walker. Aaron Walker, as I said, July 1st is going to be on the show, and he's just very inspirational. And, you know, I have listened to several of his podcasts that he's been on and as a guest, and he's just a phenomenal human being. Got some great stories, and I hope you'll come back on July 1st and listen to Aaron Walker. And then the week after that, we're going to have a good friend of mine, Bo Henderson, on the show. Bo has a new book coming out. Bo is part of the Rich Life, his thing of being rich, and he doesn't necessarily mean having a lot of money. It's having a rich life. Just living kind of like Aaron Walker. I'm getting into a theme here of living a life of significance and purpose. And between Aaron Walker, Weta Brown, and Bo Henderson, we're going to be focusing on significance, living on purpose, and living a rich life, and health and wellness kind of thing that is encompassing all of life and happiness. So that's our goal for these next 3 weeks, to have you pumped up, motivated, and ready to start and finish the summer out. And we're going to talk after that. We're going to be talking about, year-end goal review. It's, if you're on business, usually in mid-year, not year-end goal review, but mid-year goal review. Usually in a business, we have our mid-year reviews, that you do before the annual year. Everybody does an annual review, but a lot of businesses also do a mid-year review to see how you're doing on your goals for the company, your department, and so forth. So we're going to be talking about the mid-year reviews because it will be in July at that time, and we're halfway through the year already. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining. If you like our show, please go out to iTunes. If you're listening on iTunes, please, find our page, like our page, and subscribe, and leave a rating and a review. We would definitely appreciate it. Want to hear from you, let you know. Also, visit our podcast show notes at goalgettingpodcast.com, episode 16. We are, I've got some pictures out there from my martial arts days, me and the Z4, and we have a link to the poster as well. And you can get that if you're listening on iTunes. You can actually go, if you're subscribed, you can go click the picture for the Goal Getting podcast, and it'll open up the show notes in the back of that, and you can actually follow the links there as well. But again, please come visit us on the show notes on our website. Leave us a comment. Let us know what we can do to help you. Visit us on our Facebook page. Just go to Facebook, and search for Goal Getting Podcast. You'll find us out there. It's been my pleasure speaking with you today. Have a great day and make it a great day. And we'll see you next week and listen for our great interviews that we have next week in the next 3 weeks. So it's been fun. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you later.
Hey, Goal Getter Nation. This is Tony, and I want to let you know that we've got a great offer for you. For the listeners of Goal Getting Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their services. If you want to check out The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, you can check that book out at goalgettingbook.com or choose any other audiobook. To download your free copy of The Power of Habit or any other audiobook today, go to goalgettingbook.com. That's goalgettingbook.com to get your free audiobook.
I'd like to thank my good friend Mark Sensinger from marksensinger.com. Mark created Baccarat, the music you just heard, for the Goal Getting Podcast, and I really want to thank Mark for that. If you need any type of music, Mark is an excellent composer. He's done some things for Boston Pops, done a few things for other orchestras in the New England area. Go visit marksensinger.com and check out some of the great work that he's done. And he can do it for you. He can provide you with music for a bar mitzvah, bachelorette party, or your own wedding tune. That would be a wonderful thing to have your own wedding composition created by an artist like Mark Sensinger at marksensinger.com. So Mark's a good friend. Check him out. Go visit him and his webpage and see if he can write something for you like he did for us at Goal Getting Podcast with that great piece, Baccarat.